Welcome to the Human Communion, where we all heal together through human connection. I'm Dr. Shawn Marie Higgins, an osteopathic author, course creator, teacher, and spiritual, animal, and nature medium. Today I'm going to answer a very common question that I get from my clients and patients, and that is, how do I connect with crossed over loved ones? Meaning humans and animals that have passed away and now exist in spirit form. Well, first of all, what is a psychic medium? Psychic mediumship is the practice of conducting communication between living human beings and other types of beings, such as loved ones who have passed away, both humans and animal, spirit guides and helpers, and also, for me anyway, living animals and plants and trees. In my experience, connecting with spirits, nature, and animals is also physiologically healing. It is biologically healing. So I will touch on that concept just a little bit throughout this episode as well. But please know there's a lot more about the healing component of intuition, the biological component of intuition and mediumship in my course titled Biological Mediumship that will launch through the Shift Network in December of 2024. For me, the best way to connect with a crossover loved one is to recall a joyful or loving memory of the two of us together when we were having fun. Laughter is the most healing frequency possible for the human body. It's a biological harmony that consists of your joy, breath, your body's physical muscle contractions, and your signature sound tone as expressed through your vocal cords. Breath is the life-sustaining body function that you can't live without for more than, say, 3 minutes. Yet it's the core body physiology involved in laughter. Laughter is a vital, rhythmic expression of joy through sound and breath. I'm going to say that again because it's a quote from my book. Laughter is a vital, rhythmic expression of joy through sound and breath. So if you can recall a time when this loved one with which you would like to communicate, when the two of you were laughing, having fun, or simply enjoying spending time together, then you instantaneously call the energy of that loved one to you. Your memory of them in joy, in pleasure, in peace, immediately calls them to you instantaneously. There's no distance, there's no time. They are just right there. It forms a neural network tract that begins with thought, which is the intention of recollection, and that spark of energy, intention, although originating in thought, ignites a biological, neurological action potential that conducts instantaneously to your body physiology everywhere. And we may first feel that as emotion. Again, a lot more of this in my class. The emotion then affects our biology. Literally, we may tear up, we may laugh, smile, feel intense emotions in our hearts. Has an instantaneous positive effect on our health by way of lowering blood pressure, calming anxiety, displacing feelings of dread and depression because you can't feel happy and depressed at the same time. You just can't do it. Joy and happy annihilate depression and dread. Also, this reaction decreases inflammation, enhances the immune system, pumps fluid mechanically via the rhythmic motion of the diaphragm. It pumps lymphatic fluid, blood, via diaphragmatic contractions during laughter. Laughter increases endorphin production in the brain, enhancing feelings of happiness and contentment. Laughter boosts metabolism and increases one's energy level overall, providing at the very least a short burst of energy, which is a window of opportunity within which you can get some exercise or inspired new ideas. Use it as a wedge to just wedge into your life some joy, because if you can get a wedge anywhere with positive emotion, positive laughter, endorphins surge through your body, that wedge very quickly opens right up into a very wide, exponentially huge array of energy influx. So just a wedge is all you need. So use these times of mediumship and intuition in order to wedge joy into your life. And if you wedge a little bit and then lose it, that's okay. Just keep doing it again and again, and it will eventually grow bigger and bigger, last longer and longer. And in this way, connecting with our loved ones is actually healing. Because once we realize the presence of a spirit world, we have no doubt in the everlasting life that is in store for us after our physical bodies have died. This eliminates a lot of fear. It eliminates a lot of depression. It eliminates a lot of doubt and worry, knowing that we ultimately live forever. Our souls live forever. And it increases our quality of life while we are still alive in physical body. Although we are capable of feeling pain and sorrow and these trials and tribulations of life, we know that we're here for a purpose in physical form, and that passing over is eternal life. And we know that because our loved ones who have passed, and we know they have because we said bye, we buried them, we grieved for them, they're still communicating with us, they're still here. When we realize that and experience that for the very first time, it changes your biological makeup forever. It changes your cell structure forever. It changes your DNA forever. I do mediumship in my practice, and I connect a lot of people with their loved ones, and they heal through that. But when you harness your own sovereignty, your own power to be a medium yourself, that changes you interdimensionally, multidimensionally, exponentially in even more ways. And that's what I want for all of you. And it may start with having mediumship experiences with other mediums that can connect you with your loved ones who have crossed over first, to sort of open that psychological doorway for you so you're not overwhelmed and having your belief systems cracked open too quickly. So you don't have to remember the moment that they passed away, or saying, I'm sorry, I wish there was so much more we could have done together, I wish I had spent more time, I've learned all these lessons now that you're gone. That's okay, because as soon as they've passed over, and you will realize this as your mediumship skills grow, they understand all of that once they're crossed over. Immediately, instantaneously, they understand it. Focus on joy. It's better to remember a joyful, energy, uplifting moment. You actually start to feel their presence around you when you do that. And you'll know it because at the very least, you'll feel emotion, at the very least. Some people will feel wisdom coming to them. Some people have natural clairvoyance, clairaudience, and all of those kind of psychic skills that are very easy for them. And that may come as well. But at the very least, you'll know your loved one is there, listening to you, poised for you, at attention for you, and sitting with you. You'll feel emotion. Even if it's just a little bit, you'll feel it and you'll know. And what I call this getting them on the line. So you've dialed their number and they've picked up. They're there and you know it because you can feel it. Once you've dialed their number in that way, and now they're around you, waiting for you, ready to communicate with you, then talking to them and communicating meaningful conversation back and forth is another skill set. So for this, I say at first, be very patient, because the actual language that they're delivering to you is in vibrational form. It's another language. It's not in spoken language form. It isn't. Hearing and seeing spirit with clairaudience, clairvoyance, etc., are our interpretations of the information through our sensory field after it's filtered through our biology and through our sensory fields. But at its source of output, the intelligence, the message, is projected to us as pure vibrational intent. So be patient with yourself. At first, you might just feel overwhelming emotion and bright lights and colors, and you may feel intelligence, but you can't really voice what it is yet. You couldn't really write it down in words or tell somebody what it meant cognitively or logically in human language, but it is full of content in another way that you can't describe. That's vibrational language. And you will be able to template that out and structure it into meaningful cognitive and logical messages for other humans around you eventually. So be patient with yourself. Just receive, and it will come out in its own time. And don't be worried if you don't feel like you can really delineate what the spirits are saying to you at first, because there is no time, there is no space, there is no distance in the spirit world. So even if you receive the message, let's say today, while we're doing this talk, you might even get a message from one of your deceased loved ones. But it isn't until 2 months from now that you're like able to actually filter these messages into a way to translate them into English or Swiss German or Italian or other languages. Could have been the same message you received today, and you just met up with it in space-time 2 months from now. You will never lose intelligence. If it's from pure love, if it's true, once you receive intelligence in any form, whether it's as emotion, as cognitive in any way, your cell structure changes and you retain the wisdom in your cell structure forever. So it's retained within you. So don't worry about losing any information. But feeling emotion might be how you translate their vibrational messages at first, because it's very general. It's very believable and accepted through any belief system, whether it's religious or not. I mean, we believe things and we all feel emotion. We all know it because we all feel it. So it's a very peripheral way for your biology to filter interdimensional messages or messages from spirit without blowing your psyche away if you're not really ready to receive messages of verbal or visionary communication yet, if you're not really ready to hear voices and see visions. Your spirit friends will deliver very broad and general messages of simplicity, like just love and hello at first, so as not to overwhelm you. Validation to you that they are still with you and that the spiritual realm is real and it is true. That information alone will change your neurology, your neurochemistry, your cellular and molecular function. More information about that in biological mediumship class. But slowly over time, this communication will become stronger and you will become very skilled in hearing specific words, seeing the words so you can read them, receiving visions, or just knowing the content of what your loved one is saying specifically, just knowing it as a ball of content. And that's telepathy. You'll learn how to decipher their symbols and come up with your own encyclopedia of spiritual symbol deciphering. And that's a specific exercise we go through in biological mediumship. You will develop your own encyclopedia of spiritual symbols. Everybody's is different, which makes it very special and unique. And it's something for you always to treasure because the messages you receive from spirit are filtered through your biology alone. So your language with spirit is different than anyone else's. That's the amazing thing to me about the language of vibration, is that the language of vibration varies in its quality and its specificity depending on who's having the conversation. A spirit having a conversation with me will give me different symbols to mean the same things that somebody else would receive as different symbols. So it's such a unique language. The language of vibration is unique to each one of us. This is all going to be talked about in biological mediumship. But just having heard this episode 3 podcast of the Human Communion will help you, and just hearing this episode will change your biology. So please pay attention to your dreams tonight and tomorrow and over the next 7 days, I'm told from Spirit. Over the next 7 days, please make sure you notice your dreams, any specific symbols that come to you throughout your day, in signs or through work peers or family members, or any kinds of epiphanies or inspirations. Please keep track and journal over the next 7 days after hearing this episode of the Human Communion. And I will talk more and more about this as we go through more tidbits and highlights of intensive intuition, which is the subset of biological mediumship class. And I thank you very much for tuning in to the Human Communion, where we heal interdimensionally through human connection.